Now we come to the part of the trip where we try to figure all this out. I've thought a little bit about this, but not enough to make this organized, so you're going to have to excuse my ramblings a little bit. You know, a few years ago, my mom sent me a postcard, or a birthday card rather, and on the front of it there was a real-life picture of a group of penguins standing at the edge of this crack in the ice of unperceivable depth. And all of them just kind of standing there looking over and not knowing what to do. And one penguin is just kind of leaping in midair, flying almost over this ravine. And on the inside it says, "Do something today that makes everyone say, dude, you're crazy." Actually, a number of you have given me that card at other times. But my mom wrote down at the bottom, "On the other hand, why am I encouraging this kind of behavior?" That's kind of my question after all of this. You know, it's that question that we've talked about a little bit along the way of why? I mean, on one side, they are all things that I was able to explain to people, you know, before going on these things. The challenge, the feeling of being alive, the goal, the focus, all these things that I sometimes miss to certain extents in my quote-unquote real life, and things that I can get through this, you know. On the other hand, I just walked for almost 5 whole days, a significant distance, except that I could have taken a bus and done it in 3 hours, and the price is that I saved maybe $5-6, and I can hardly walk. That's the trade-off. Why? You know, was there any value to this? Did I learn anything? I learned a lot of things, actually. I mean, if you have any assumption that I'm going to, at some time, be in some difficult, kind of extreme environment where I have to survive, then I learned a lot of things that I can use. I know a lot more about finding my direction. I know about traveling by roads. I know more about how much food I require, how much clothes I require, how good my equipment is. A lot of things, you know, that I didn't know before, that I know because of this trip, that'll help me in a lot of different ways, and especially if there's any kind of extreme situation where someone needs to know what's going on. You know, these kind of experiences just help me be more prepared for that. And I'm not ready to go down that hill yet, so I'm going to turn around. Did I learn anything else? Definitely learned about something about surrender in 2 ways. One, in just surrendering in the moment, surrendering the pain, and still taking that step, you know, when you really have to take that next step. I'm able to do it now, to some extent, not to an infinite extent. I also learned that I'm not Superman. And that's where I also learned about surrender, when it's time to give up. And looking back now, I could not do anything else. It would have been absolutely unredeemable of me to have not stopped where I did. Looking at the way that my ankle looks now and the way that my knees are now, even if I had been able to walk now, I would have done a great deal more damage than I've already done. It would have been unacceptable for me to continue, even if I had been able to, and thankfully I wasn't able to. So, you know, at the end, just having to let go of that. What happened during the course of that trip, you know? Something, looking back, I've looked over some of these videos and sound recordings now. Something snapped that this destination was so much more important to me than it should have been. Did you see that? Did you notice that? Like, it was important to begin with, but no, something did not add up, that I was way, way too dead set on this. And I'm really not sure why. I think there's something in me that I need to investigate more along those lines. The need to not be a quitter, or the perhaps fears of inadequacy, or fears that I have to prove myself or something. These are not things that I would think of myself, really, but there's something along those lines that really made me want to make it here. And the thing that you didn't see, that I didn't see either, that would have made it all seem a lot more sane, is if I had made it here, bad step. If I had made it here on foot and stood here overlooking the city, just like this, and I had made it every step of the way on my own, under whatever condition, the jubilee, the joy of that moment, I know I would have jumped up and down and yelled at the top of my lungs for the entire city to hear that we're in Český Krumlov! We made it! And then suddenly, all those steps and everything that I worked through would feed into the value of that moment, you see? Would feed into the success, the overcoming of difficulty and challenge and pain and all those things that we love to overcome. It would have meant that. I mean,